The genius of Nikola Tesla, through his visionary quotes. The legacy of Nikola Tesla is astounding, but history books barely mention him. Why? Because his ideas were too dangerous for the powerful and threatened to disrupt the status quo. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. My brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. If we only knew the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, then we would have the key to the universe. Of all the frictional resistances, the one that most retards human movement is ignorance. The scientists of today think deeply instead of clearly. One must be sane to think clearly, but one can think deeply and be quite insane. Our virtues and our failings are inseparable, like force and matter. When they separate, man is no more. The spread of civilization may be likened to a fire. First, a feeble spark, next a flickering flame, then a mighty blaze, ever increasing in speed and power. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. If your hate could be turned into electricity, it would light up the whole world. Life is and will ever remain an equation incapable of solution, but it contains certain known factors. The individual is ephemeral, races and nations come and pass away, but man remains. Though free to think and act, we are held together, like the stars in the firmament, with ties inseparable. What one man calls God, another calls the laws of physics. I don't care that they stole my idea. I care that they don't have any of their own. Invention is the most important product of man's creative brain. I do not think you can name many great inventions that have been made by married men. It's not the love you make, it's the love you give. Our senses enable us to perceive only a minute portion of the outside world. We crave for new sensations, but soon become indifferent to them. The wonders of yesterday are today common occurrences. Instinct is something which transcends knowledge. Let the future tell the truth and evaluate each one according to his work and accomplishments. The present is theirs. The future, for which I really worked, is mine. The gift of mental power comes from God, divine being, and if we concentrate our minds on that truth, we become in tune with this great power. I don't think there is any emotion that can pierce the human heart like the one felt by the inventor as he sees some creation of the brain unfold to success. Peace can only come as a natural consequence of universal enlightenment and merging of races, and we are still far from this blissful realization. There is something within me that might be illusion, as it is often case with young enthusiastic people. But if I would be fortunate to achieve some of my ideals, it would be on the benefit of mankind. It is not in the shallow physical imitation of men that women will assert first their equality and later their superiority, but in the awakening of the intellect of women. The progressive development of man is vitally dependent on invention. It is the most important product of his creative brain. The spread of civilization may be likened to a fire. First a feeble spark, next a flickering flame, then a mighty blaze, ever increasing in speed and power. When natural inclination develops into a passionate desire, one advances towards his goal in 7-league boots. All that was great in the past was ridiculed, condemned, combated, suppressed, only to emerge all the more powerfully, all the more triumphantly from the struggle. Every living being is an engine geared to the wheelwork of the universe. Though seemingly affected only by its immediate surrounding, the sphere of external influence extends to infinite distance. The mind is sharper and keener in seclusion and uninterrupted solitude. No big laboratories needed in which to think. With ideas, it is like with dizzy heights you climb. At first, they cause you discomfort and you're anxious to get down, distrustful of your own powers. But soon the remoteness of the turmoil of life and the inspiring influence of the altitude calm your blood. Your step gets firm and sure, and you begin to look, sir, for dizzier heights. Our virtues and our failings are inseparable, like force and matter. When they separate, man is no more. Be alone, that is the secret of invention. Be alone, that is when ideas are born. Originality thrives in seclusion, free of outside influences, beating upon us to cripple the creative mind. One must be sane to think clearly, but one can think deeply and be quite insane. As I review the events of my past life, I realize how subtle are the influences that shape our destinies. Most persons are so absorbed in the contemplation of the outside world that they are wholly oblivious to what is passing on within themselves. My belief is firm in a law of compensation. The true rewards are ever in proportion to the labor and sacrifices made. Life is and will ever remain an equation incapable of solution, but it contains certain known factors. One's salvation could only be brought about through his own efforts. Antisocial behavior is a trait of intelligence in a world full of conformists. The present is theirs. The future, for which I really worked, is mine. Don't miss out. Subscribe for your daily dose of wisdom. Thanks for watching.